Thank you for participating in the WestEd and Dallas College Co-Requisite Pilot Study. Your participation, support, and feedback are very important. This orientation will cover what you need to know and do as part of this study. So first, we'll start with an introduction and overview to the study. This is the evaluation team. We will be working with you on a day-to-day basis on the study of logistics. Brian is the team lead. Thanks for waiting. Kim Kenyona and Celia will be primarily working with the instructors, and I'll be working primarily with the students. That said, we'll all be here to help you with anything you may need. Please don't hesitate to email us if you ever need anything. This is a shared inbox, so it ensures you'll always get a timely reply, even if one of us is out of the office. And then we'll send you study emails and information on Tuesday and Thursday mornings. So as an overview, this term we're testing the processes and surveys that will be used in the formal efficacy study starting next fall. That study will help us to learn what approaches are most successful for students in co-requisite math classes. That information will help Dallas College as well as other colleges across the nation make more informed decisions about how to support students who struggle the most and are in these gateway math courses. So thank you so much for your participation. The co-requisite study will compare the Statway co-requisite course to more typical statistics co-requisite courses in terms of student impact, both academic and non-cognitive, and how the impact varies by student characteristics and what the key features are of each approach. Since we'll be testing the surveys and processes these terms, please don't hesitate to send feedback so we can improve things for the formal co-requisite study. So before we go any further, I'd like to cover participant rights for both student and instructor participants in the study. I just want to remind you, participation is always voluntary. So that means that you can withdraw from the study at any time. You can just send us an email. You also have the right to confidentiality. We're keeping participants' personal information secure and will continue to maintain confidentiality when reporting on the results as we described in the consent form. And so we're also asking that you maintain student confidentiality. Their participation status is also considered confidential, so don't ask them whether or not they're participating. And if a student tells you whether or not they're participating, please don't share it with anyone. And also, please never transmit student information via insecure means. Always use a secure method, and we'll go over a couple of ways of doing that in this training. But email is never considered secure, so please don't put student names, IDs, or other personal information in email. Okay, so I'll hand it over to Kim Kenyona for study timelines and tasks.
Hello, my name is Kim Kenyona. Thank you very much, Katie, for the great introduction and handoff. I'll be talking about the study timeline and tasks. This timeline shows an overview of the study. We're trying to keep everything quick and easy for you. After the initial task of choosing a study class and uploading the rosters, you'll administer a student survey and complete an instructor log every other week, starting with this week. Other tasks are to watch a video. There'll be a thank you. You'll send an administration. I apologize. You will also administer the student consent forms or provide that to the students and then receive a thank you gift card at the end. Lastly, you may be contacted to schedule 1 to 3 classroom visits. Hopefully, all of the tasks will be straightforward and easy, but if they're not, or if they can be made easier, please let us know, as your feedback will improve our processes for instructors and students in the formal co-requisite study starting in the fall. We will now go into more detail on these tasks. All right, so you are likely to have already completed these initial tasks. That is, providing the study class information, and uploading the rosters. So the initial tasks as we just discussed, you will have emailed your study class course name, the identifier, and section number. And as a reminder, any math class can be used for the pilot study this term, though that will not be true for the Corequisite study starting in the fall. For each study class, please upload a roster including the student's name, email, and Dallas College student ID. These rosters will help us connect the study, student surveys, consent forms, and other data obtained from the Institutional Research Office. If you have not completed this step, please do so today. Note that the rosters should not be sent via email. Other than the roster, it is unlikely that you'll need to send information about individual students to us. However, if you do need to send individual personal information about the students, you can use the link that's shown here to transmit the information securely. All right, so starting in week 1, you will be administering the student consent form and the first survey. As an overview, the purpose of this study in the Corequisite study is to measure a non-cognitive impact of the 2 approaches. It gathers information about student attitudes and beliefs around learning mathematics. In this pilot study, we are primarily testing the system students will use to complete the surveys. Of course, the purpose of the consent form is to obtain student consent. Links for the consent form were emailed to you today. If you have provided the roster and study sections, the survey links were also emailed. Otherwise, they will be emailed once we obtain the information. In the future, survey links will be emailed on Tuesdays of the week you are to administer the survey. The links for the last 2 surveys will be emailed the week they are to be administered. The surveys will take students 10 to 15 minutes to complete, and the consent form approximately 10 minutes. To go into more detail, I'm going to turn it back over to Katie.
Okay, thank you. So during this first week of the study, please let students know that you are participating in a study and are inviting them also to participate. We've provided a sample script that emphasizes that all students in your study classes will complete a consent form and the 3 surveys. So whether or not they're participating in the study, they'll complete the consent form and 3 surveys. They can accept or decline participation on the consent form. If they accept, their survey data as well as the demographic and transcript data obtained directly from Dallas College will be used for research. If they decline, the survey data as well, if they decline, the survey data will not be used for research and no data will be requested from Dallas College. Either way, they'll still complete the consent form and all 3 surveys because you won't know who has accepted or declined consent in the study. So to administer, please provide the links to students in class, such as by chat or in virtual courses or by writing on the board for in-person. And ideally give them time to complete them in class, although we recognize that there may not be sufficient time. But please also send the links to students via email or posting on your class site or LMS. And then keep reminding students until they're complete. The goal is to have 100% of students complete their consent and surveys. So to further encourage students, we have a few suggestions and we have those listed out on the next couple slides. And so again, provide time in class to complete, and to further encourage completion, consider offering extra credit for completing these tasks or count them as a grade in the class, such as a homework assignment. So how will you know which students to give credit for completing the consents and surveys, and how will you know who to remind to complete? So for the consent forms, those will be completed within SurveyMonkey. And so we'll gather that information for you and send you a secure email, a secure encrypted email through a service called Virtru. And in order to read the messages, you'll see this thing in your email, and you'll click the unlock message button, and it'll take you to another site that will provide you the opportunity to verify your email, either by logging in through Google or by doing an email verification step where they send you a message to the email. So there's no login to remember, but there is a little extra step to make sure that these emails are secure and are only read by someone who has access to your email. And so this gives you the information you need so that you can provide students with extra credit for completing this or as a homework assignment. And for checking student completion status, these are completed within a survey system, and you will be given a login information via email on how to log into that, and then you can check individual student completion. So when you log into that system, you'll get an overview of your course. And if you continue to scroll down, you'll see the surveys that the students have completed. And so you can click on that little show summary button for each survey where there are responses, and it will show you who has looked at the survey and who has completed the survey. So you'll know who to give credit to and who to give reminders. And as a quick note, there is one record per email address. So when the students complete the surveys, this is what it looks like to them. They're giving their name and email address. If for some reason they complete one survey with one email address and another survey with a different email address, they will show up more than once in your, or they'll show up in different email addresses in the system. Okay, and so as a reminder, these surveys are going out first this week. So thank you very much. And then every other week after that. So 3 surveys total. Okay. And so then the next task for you guys to complete is the instructor log. So I'll pass that off to Celia.
Thank you, Katie and Kim Quinona, for describing the study activities so far. We're now going to talk a bit more in detail about the instructor logs. So the purpose of the instructor logs in the Corequisite study is to document and understand the differences between the Statway and non-Statway courses, as well as any differences in instructor attributes such as beliefs and attitudes. In this pilot study, we are both testing the log content itself and the processes that you will use to complete the logs. These logs are designed to be short, and we ask that you please do not complete them until the last day of class for the week, as they reflect the study activities that have been completed during that week. Therefore, the log links will not be open until Thursday. We do ask that you complete these logs as soon as possible after the completion of the week, if possible by Monday of the following week, while the information is still fresh in your mind. And the logs will ask questions about what you did and what you taught during the week. And we ask that you only answer the questions with respect to the week that you are completing the log in. It should only take about 10 minutes per weekly log. Here you will see an example of what the instructor weekly log will look like. As you can see, you will be entering your name and your email, and then again addressing some questions about what you taught or what you did during the week of study activities. Next up, we have classroom visits. They can occur at any point from now until the last day of class. And the purpose of the classroom visits, like the instructor logs, is to document and understand the differences between the Statway and the non-Statway courses. We are testing the protocols that we will use for classroom visits during the formal Corequisite study, which will take place in the fall. And these will be visits that will be arranged on a one-on-one basis. So we will work with your schedule as well as our own to find a time that works for a classroom visit. And we want to emphasize that the goal is not to evaluate your teaching or classroom instruction. The purpose is to document in a systematic way the differences between the classes, between the Statway course and the non-Statway course, and to test our protocols for classroom observations. And we do really appreciate you letting us into our classroom, so thank you. Finally, as a thank you, at the end of the study, you will be receiving a gift card. And the purpose of the gift cards is to thank you so much for your participation in this study. We cannot complete this research without you, so we really do appreciate your time and effort throughout all of the study activities. And we will send this upon completion of all of the study tasks. Our estimated date of delivery would be between April 25th and 29th, though, as I mentioned, the classroom visits will be arranged on case-by-case basis. So in the case that the classroom observations are a bit later, that may delay the distribution of the gift cards. But regardless, you will definitely receive the gift card within a week of the last day of class.
Okay, so thank you again for your participation. And if you have any questions or feedback, please email us and let us know. We can also schedule a call if you'd rather chat. But we definitely do, I want to emphasize, would love to get your feedback. We want to make the study as easy as possible for you this term, as well as most importantly, making it easy for the larger group of instructors and students for the fall efficacy. So thank you very, very much for any feedback you could give and for your participation.